Rockland Fire Protection District Board of Trustees regular meeting to order for Monday, May 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. 6:00. In attendance we have myself, Trustee Malinowski, Trustee Mack is here, contrary to what the agenda says. Trustee Johnson is not here. Chief Costa and DC Rick. Carlson, the treasurer, and attorney Megan
Lamb.
And if you could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So just got the minutes. Here.
I did, in fact.
You did, okay.
Just trying to print stuff and the printer decided that it was going to ask for some. Very unreasonable. So
Okay. So is that a motion?
yeah, I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of the Rockland Fire Protection District regular meeting on March 11th, 2024.
I will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Moving right along, the chief's report. DC Rick, I'll put you on the spot.
Oh man, see, I was told to defer to the other chief, to the guys here in the room.
I mean, if you want to see how it's
That's what I was expecting. I'm like, I was gonna wait for the phone. I'll bring it. No. Yeah, I was gonna hook mine up too. All right. So from my understanding, I have a pretty straightforward one this month, which worked out well for me to kind of get my feet wet. We had everything was just EMS calls. We had 17 calls this past month. Stays in line with our our averages for the most part. Same thing with the alarm to arrival time. Everything seemed to be pretty standard as far as our monthly averages over the last couple quarters. The only outlier call that maybe if it did throw up a red flag, if you guys are looking at times, 413, there was no ambulance available from Lake Forest because we were actually already enrolled at the Jenkinson building. We were responding there for a chest pain call, so our engine ambulance happened to be on scene at the same time in district while we got that second call toned out. So our engine was able to clear within a few minutes of that tone going out. So our dispatch time, was 5:55 p.m. The en route time was 5:59, but it's because they were actually still just tied up on the scene at the time. So again, that's why it also looked like en route and arrival time was only a minute apart. We didn't drive fast enough for that to work. We just happened to be a block and a half away. So again, to me, that's the only one that if there was anything that stuck out as an outlier to me. If there are questions you guys had specific about a few others, I did kind of a little bit of background, but I'm happy to look anything up.
Everything from last month looked alright. Just from the month prior, there was one on 323 for March. About 23 minutes. I was just curious.
So there, give me the call number on that, because I actually think we did look at that one into.
That was 24-00819.
If you guys give me the, give me a second, I don't mind checking that one out. We did have one where there was an issue with our guys never went on scene, and if I remember correctly, that one, our on scene and then in out to hospital time were back to back. So the guys did the treatment and stuff on scene, got into the vehicle. He noticed that it was still showing an en route time.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. I'm happy to double check.
Yeah, it looks like less than 2 minutes from en route to on scene and dispatch on scene. So.
That would be, like I said, if that for sure is the one, but that we did adjust so that if we reprinted that report, the numbers would
I was just curious. That was just. I think it's weird times off a little bit, but other than that,
I will double check that while we're talking to you, but then just a few internal notes. We had our CFA that wrapped up this week, or it's wrapping up this week, it ends tomorrow. My understanding is you guys are relatively aware that we do have a CFA that says the Fire Academy that you guys are always welcome to be a part of as well, and encourage you to do it. Seems like it's a lot of fun for people that don't have any experience, and if you do have some experience, it's kind of a fun acclimation to all that stuff. But it is open to all district residents, and we usually do it this spring, so our anticipation is that we'll continue to annually do that on a regular basis. If Pete hasn't caught you up, we have had 5 new employees starting in the last 6 months. They're all full-timers, so we've got quite a new transition of people. We've got a couple that are finishing up paramedic class, hopefully in the next month or two. And then come this fall, we'll have 3 more that'll be attending the Lake Forest class in the fall. And then that's also on top of, we have a couple of POPs that we hired recently too. So similar to the program that we used to have with Rockland, that people that are looking to get into the career that maybe don't have the training, that are looking to get sponsored for fire academies or paramedic schools, that's the direction we're going with them. So we've included them in some of the schooling opportunities that we're getting. We went and did our, what they call a pre-construction visit with Sutphin. So we have a new engine that's going to be on order for arrival fiscal year 27. So I'm sure you guys are probably aware for engines and ambulances, there's a 3-year basically lead time depending on the manufacturer. But right now we're going on year 2.5 waiting on an ambulance that we're hoping is done in the next 6 months or 9 months or so. And then the Sutphin fire engine is going to be what replaces the old engine from you guys. So we call 211 now, but it's the old Nola E1. So that's going to be our replacement because that vehicle is going to be 20 years as of FY 27, 20 years old. And then otherwise, we do have a couple of members that have joined special teams and are going through the training and are going to be put on some of the special teams, some of our TRT. We have new sonar members, some of our hazmat teams. So we've got a few that are either transitioned to the training to get on the team or have just gotten on the team this spring because they completed everything they need to. So just to bolster some of our special teams and transition some of the people that have either retired or are looking to get off as they get further down in their career, get some young people in. So that's the news from that.
Awesome. So you had one that was rebuilt last year, I thought?
So we
You had a unit rebuilt last year, I'm pretty sure.
We had one of our vehicles was refurb. I'll say it came back a year ago. We started the refurb probably 2.5 years ago. It was one of our old vehicles. We did do. I know when we got the vehicles from the district, we did some refurb work on them, but that's going on 8 years now. I think 2028.
Yeah, it's last year. It just came to mind because last year I got a call from somebody from the body shop over at Bolo that was working on it.
Body shop. We could have done something.
No, it was a
okay.
They completely tore it down.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of said, hey, we're not the equipment business anymore. But what you said just reminded
So
me.
211 we did that engine for sure. It may have been something with the truck. It may have been a body work or a refurb of something. Again, just terminology wise.
Curiosity.
But it could have been. I'm just trying to remember if the truck was involved in that. I honestly just don't. So I got promoted in September. So my purview to some of like those things, and I was on the medical shift before that. So some of this fire stuff that I just kind of accepted as what it was, and whatever showed up in the. In the bay, the right bay, if I'm supposed to get on it, that's what I got on. So
Okay.
I apologize, I don't have the
No,
details.
just you brought up the unit.
Yeah.
I had meant to ask at the time.
Yeah.
I never did.
So please remember and grill Pete next time. you see him. That sounds good to me.
He loves non sequitur questions going on left.
Sounds good.
Okay.
More and more departments are choosing to refurb rather than, purchase new just because the lead times are
Sure.
sometimes
Yeah.
4 years. We get our ambulances from Horton or Foster out of just west of here. And their lead time for new ambulances are pushing 3 years. But they are swamped on re-chassis. Because they could build the box for a new ambulance in no time. It's the chassis that are delaying. So, something.
It's interesting because my other employer, we just let a contract to 15, 18 units are getting rebuilt.
Yeah.
And we normally we run them to like 10 years and throw out, which is crazy, but we do. And they get real miles on them because they're sitting at VA Medical Center. So
Yeah.
they're doing the system calls. But they couldn't do that because they just had to go out and find somebody to do it.
Yeah.
So,
We rebuilt our ladder tower that was pushing 20 years old a few years ago, and we had another 15 years on it just to rebuild it. The only thing original was the motor and the transmission, basically, and they did some work on those while they had it all apart. Everything else was brand new, and we saved over half of what it would cost to replace that entire rig. So at times it's worth at least looking into. With Libertyville, we ran a total of 6 calls, 5 rescue calls and 1 good intense call. Some of the times are on the back. That first time was a station 1 response just because of multiple calls going on, so that's why the total response time was a little higher than normal. And then the one that's grayed out, it started out as an emergent call, but it became non-emergent, so we don't count non-emergents in our response times, at least for our emergent response times. So the average was 4 minutes and 31 seconds. That seems to be roughly the average for our response times. And then you can see on that first page on the bottom right there, you can see the average response time for 2024 is hovering around 4 minutes and 30 seconds as well. So as far as news outside of response, May brings planning for festivals and all that, so that's always fun. Just a reminder that our Memorial Day parade is coming up here on May 27th. I can't do this. May 27th at 9:30, so that's always a great event to participate in and to view. That's at Cook Park. Libertyville Days is right around the corner, June 13th through the 16th, with the parade being on June 15th. That's always a lot of fun. And then other events that we participate in, Lunch in the Park starts on June 21st. In the Farmers Market, which is a very popular event, starts on May 30th. So I'm looking forward to those. Libertyville was awarded a state fire marshal's grant for $15,000 to purchase extrication struts. And if you don't know what those are struts that you can set up pretty quickly to stabilize a vehicle if it's not on all 4 tires, right? So if it's on its side or in any peculiar position other than being on its tires, you can set up just to create a little bit of safety for the patients and also for the rescuers. So we're looking forward to getting those on our rigs. And then we also, tomorrow for our village board meeting, we're getting a comfort dog officially approved by our village. So our police department received a comfort dog through Canines for Comfort about a year ago. His name is Elwood, and he's been great not only for the police department employees but for public education and for anybody who needs them. It seems like these rescue dogs and these comfort dogs are becoming very popular throughout the nation as far as for law enforcement. Well, we decided, I've always wanted a dog at the firehouse, and I recently came to realize that it doesn't make any sense to have a dog that lives in the firehouse, because if you imagine there's 3 different shifts trying to teach this dog 3 different ways of living, right? So it just confused the dog a bit more. So what Comfort for Canines does is that they require a handler, there's a personnel in the department to basically have the dog, and they bring the dog to work every day, or they take the dog home every day. So there's a little bit of stability in the dog and all that stuff. So we acquired a Springer Spaniel. He's about 7, 8 months old. He's an awesome dog. His name is Chester, and he's trained. He's ready to go. Our guys and gals took a liking to him right away. So together with Elwood, I think Chester and Elwood are going to be a great mix, a great duo for public education and for just overall comfort. Just everyone wants to pet a dog, right? So we're pretty excited to be one of the first fire departments in the area.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't name it Jake.
Well, Jake was taken, so we thought about it. Come on, of course we thought about that. But, yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. So.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then as far as on the job front, Lake Forest hired a bunch of new people. As you all know, we talked about before, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to find the talent that used to be like on our lists of numbers of like 10s to like 100 people on our list that we can hire that tomorrow, right? Now you're lucky to get a final list of 7, 10, 15, or 20 people. And everybody's fishing out of that same pond, so that list becomes depleted pretty quickly. So job fairs are out there now, so we try to participate in as many job fairs as possible, just to promote the fire service, because that's pretty much what we have to do. We have to rebrand the fire service just to make it enticing for this new generation that we're trying to attract. So CLC has one at the end of the month, and then there's a couple of ones that the county participates in, that we try to either go or we send people through the Lake County Fire Chiefs Association to represent. And we have a QR code business card that we can give these people there, at least the Force has a
Has
good
that not been
program.
as fruitful or?
So it's
Curious.
similar. I mean, so our POP program isn't, to me, an Explore program even gets people in at the age of 18. So we don't do, high school / post-high school stuff. So we're still at 21.
Okay.
And really, when we work off of our, what we call our POP list, we're doing it from our hire list.
Yeah.
Our goal is to get the people that we think we're potentially going to hire in the door sooner. Again, the training is the big aspect of it. We're getting some people that just aren't to the level that we need day one. So if we can get them in the door, because we know that they're good potential hire candidates, and we can get them the training before the job's available, then day one you offer them the job and they've gotten everything that they need to walk in the door and be there. I think part two to that is it's almost like a extended probation, an extent that you get people through the door that you're looking at, and did the interview process reflect what they really are. And I think that that's been extremely beneficial for us, is that extra time with people through training, through just familiarization and knowing if they're a good fit or not. And I think that's the way we're approaching it for sure. The hard part is you get somebody at the door that is on 3 or 4 different lists, and by the time you're ready, they potentially have been poached somewhere else. And that's again, we're all doing the same thing and fighting for the same people and trying to make it as as grabbing as possible when you get their foot in the door and don't let go. But the reality is it's it's a game of numbers, and you just have to have the right time. So. Very cool.
Cool, excellent.
I do want a quick follow-up. So that call number I did find and I think Topher had reached out about it also. Chief Secret had asked me to kind of look into it. So that one we did correct on the back end, and if you guys either need or haven't gotten some of those updated, so those spreadsheets that we have to make sure you guys do.
Yeah.
We did follow up with Topher to.
If Topher got an update, that's great.
Okay.
He hasn't mentioned anything to me, so that's why I brought it up.
Okay, not a problem.
So, I mean, I know one thing you guys normally do is whenever, even for the follow-ups, if you just did all trustees, then it goes to all of us. Sometimes it's a little, like Topher's not here, and sometimes I'm not here, sometimes I am here, but I'm not here, so.
Good job.
Thanks, Chief. All right, agenda item number 5, public comment. The district trustees allocate time to those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the fire district trustees on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the trustees is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Any public comment?
No.
All right.
We love it when you're here, though.
We do. All right.
Certain things remind me of my youth. How's that?
Sounds good. All right, agenda item 6, attorney's report to the board of trustees. Megan, got anything for us?
Only thing I have to pass on from John is the fiscal year is ending at the end of May, and I'm sure Carl is on top of this, but it is time to start the budget planning.
Oh, yeah.
That's it?
We will have a preliminary budget at the next meeting.
Very good. I'll be here. Will you be here, Bruce? Physically, at least. All right, number 7, treasury report. Carl, segue to you.
All right. So, balance sheet, and because we did not have a March meeting, the deltas would be for 2 months.
Yeah.
The current balances, and this would be for the end of the fiscal year balance. Checking account is at $585,788.45. Reserve account is at $312,059.81, and petty cash 59.61. Yeah. And then petty cash is $81.75 for total balance of $897,929.88. On the budget tracking, again, this is the final for the year. On our revenues, we came in at 103.8%, so 3.8% higher than we budgeted. A little bit of extra money. Obviously, the IGA for ambulance and fire was at 100%. Building operations came in at a total of 43% of budget, because we always budget for something really bad going wrong with the building, and nothing did. Same thing with the district administration, we were at 51.6%. And again, the joker in that deck is legal, in case something blows up and we have a lot of legal expenses to cover, which we did not.
Don't get ideas, maybe.
And then, obviously, the insurance was at 98.5%. And so our total expenses for the year were $1,031,031, and we had budgeted for $610,060. So we came in at 94.6%, which is pretty close, but under budget. Slightly under budget. So that is it for the year.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Second. And roll call vote, trustee Mack. Aye. Trustee Malinowski, aye. Trustee Johnson, aye. Outstanding invoices, Carl, what we got?
Okay, 2 months worth here. So we have legal for Hudson Ritz, $948. Comcast from the internet, $253. North Shore Water Reclamation for sewer, $13. Intersecurity for quarter of alarm monitoring, $120. ComEd electricity, $643. North Shore Gas for heating, $429. Ireland Heating and Air Conditioning, that was what they forgot, when they did the replacement of the limit switch there, they forgot to bill us for the second visit where they installed it. And so I got a notice saying, oh, sorry, could you pay this? Okay. So that goes
Alright.
back to December.
Yeah, okay.
Denny's Fire Control is the annual check on all the extinguishers, tagging the extinguishers. Second month, North Shore Gas, $259. Comcast, $252. A reissue of the check to the volunteer fire department to clear that unclaimed property account, $393. Lake County Public Works, water service, $606.92. ComEd, $448. Again, second month of House of Brits, $850. And then the 3 trustee compensations and treasurer's compensations, so $1,500 for Carl, the treasurer, $1,500 for Marson, $1,500 for Topher, and $1,500 for Bruce, and that would, subject to the next item on the agenda.
Got it.
And then finally, there was one Costco charge for $22.17 to GoDaddy for the name. So it's $22.
So is that gonna clear all the back expense, that last check for the volunteers? That last check?
Well, I issued the check 2 years ago, but it didn't get deposited.
Yeah, I know, and it didn't get deposited, and then we had to reissue it.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been through this, multiple times, but, if we wait much longer, then I have to turn it over to the state, and the paperwork on that is astronomical.
It will be taken care of prior to next meeting.
Just make it go away.
It'll be done.
I've never met a fireman that didn't wanna get paid.
What was that list about, like, at least half a dozen of them?
Yeah.
That just wouldn't take the check?
They wouldn't take the checks.
So, this will be taken care of by next month. I promise.
I'm not gonna break anyone's legs.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the outstanding invoices in the amount of $10,904.06.
Second.
Roll call vote, trustee Mack. Aye. Trustee Malinowski. Aye. And no. All right, agenda item number 9, discussion and action on annual compensation for trustees and treasurer.
Okay, we do this under 70 ILCS 705/6 subsection C, which says that for fire department, or for districts where you have less than 4 full-time employees, which is us, the trustee compensation is limited to $1,000 with a 50% increment if you take the advanced training. And also, there is a possibility for another 50% increment because of ambulance service, so that would be paid out of the ambulance fund. We've never done that because it doesn't seem that it's to compensate for additional administrative work, and there really isn't any additional administrative work. So, since all of the trustees have completed their continuing ed credits, they're entitled to, if the board wishes to extend that to them, $1,500 each, and then we've always paid the treasurer $1,500 also. So, to make it all legit, there should be a motion to set that compensation, and then we can go ahead and give you the checks.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve trustee compensation in the amount of $1,000 with a 50% adder for continuing education. And I guess the treasurer should also get compensated for his hours.
I will second that motion.
All right, since this involves money, roll call vote. Trustee Mack.
Mac, aye?
Trustee Malinowski, aye. And Carl doesn't get a vote. Chris isn't here. I should get paid, but I shouldn't say. All right. Good. So
I'm
that's
not
it.
gonna create a situation where somebody has to chase me. Cause it costs more than the cost of a freaking job.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 10, board discussion update on the Rockland Fire Protection District Decennial Committee. And we did meet last month. We were supposed to kind of wrap up the
We're gonna
committee
meet
this month.
But at this stage of the game, I'm pretty sure that I have everything I need, I think, for both departments. But where we were, I believe, was I was gonna take the first cut at the draft, and then I was gonna bounce it back off the departments to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting anything, and then circle it back to the rest of the there is some of this, I've not done one of these before, so we'll see how that goes. I just have not had a chance to do it.
Or did you want to table discussing what we want at the next meeting until the next regular board meeting? If you've had time to.
I'd like Topher to be here, so yes.
Okay.
So Megan,
Yeah.
it's not due until like the end of this year or something, right?
Yeah, if you look at, I don't know when you guys created your committee, but it's 18 months from when you created your committee. You probably created it last May, that's when most districts did it. Maybe last June.
No, did we?
I think it's a little later.
It was later than that
Well-
because we were having trouble getting the citizen authority.
Okay.
We probably started sometime in the fall.
The
It was-
latest then I would go is 18 months from, what was that, the June 10th deadline. So like December 10th is what I would make the hard deadline for your reports.
It would be my intention to get it done in the next few months.
Okay.
I don't want to drag this out, but again, having never done one of these before, and I think it's going to take some effort for you and I to sit down.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff, I can just pull that data and just give it to you. Yeah, I mean, it's clear, it's just the financial stuff. I can go through the section and just get this, and, send it off to you, electronically, and do workshop.
And you guys are a paper district. I finished a report for one paper district, and I'm in the middle of writing another one right now. Don't overthink it. My report that's finished is like 3 pages long. It's, because there's not much to say. You can't really report so much on personnel or.
I wish I had that in front of me, but as I recall,
Your first meeting was October 9th.
thank you. That's about right. For things like, I'm trying to think of a good example, some of the financial stuff, it looks like in one line it was, well, you just give them the number, and then somewhere else it was like, yep, now, should you do the 5-page report, include the 5-page report as an addendum that underlies that.
You could, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's easy to do that.
Yeah, that's up to you guys. Oops. There
So-
are,
So, is that an option?
that's an option. I mean,
No, let me rephrase
Yeah.
this. 25 years in the military, never again volunteer yourself. So, if it's not required, so you're saying it's not required?
well, the report's required, but there are no requirements for what has to be in the report other than it is supposed to be a report on what is discussed at the 3 committee meetings. And theoretically, at the 3 committee meetings, you're discussing the efficiencies of the districts, you're discussing the financials, you're discussing IGAs with municipalities. And then all of that gets distilled into this report.
This is coming from the template that John provided us. You know, it goes into those things. Now, apparently, like I said, it's a template. I don't know that they are required by the law, but that's the template that's prepared that we're working with.
It is, I'm just dropping. It is a suggested template. The only thing that we're really strongly encouraging everyone to attach to their report is the minutes from their decennial committee meetings, because the law does require 3 meetings. So this way, but everything else is optional. You know, it's not, the report, the template that we sent out to everybody isn't gonna exactly fit everybody.
And certainly, you know, we want to be transparent, but I don't want to create paper to go get locked in that vault, that get, you know, that box that then gets taken in the Raiders of the Lost Ark and get put up on the shelf. You know. And given that we're a paper district, we're not going to revisit our IGA. Nobody wants to do that. It's just, it would rework so much unnecessary pain and suffering. So past that, there's limits to what we can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why, like I said, it might be a very short report, and if it is, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I wouldn't try to find information to make the report longer, I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I like your thinking.
It's very easy just to put the, you know, put those numbers in, but from the template it was like, okay, all the detail can be attached as an addendum. It doesn't sound like we need to do that. Like I said, I've got the information, but it's just gonna, particularly if anybody prints this, it would come out to be about this big. This thick, I mean, not just.
Yeah.
This thick.
No, I'm, to be honest with you, I'm much more interested in, I think, stuff that might be of interest to the public, and it's going to be more of the reverence, road information that both of you gentlemen give us, so. And that's why I'm striving for accuracy in that. The financials, they're out there.
Well, I said we just do the simple numbers. What was,
With that in mind, yeah, I would suggest to the board that we table it until we have a full quorum, which I believe we will have next month, hopefully. And at that point, we can make a decision. Meanwhile, if I can rough it out, I'll rough it out. Okay. But I do, because I do want to have our community at large member present too. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right, as I have historically done so, continue to do so by combining 11 and 12, discussion action on lease for sale of Rockland Fire Protection District building, and board discussion update regarding on-depth improvements. Nothing new on either.
Well, I got this frozen land acquisition this year.
Oh. Okay, that's new.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
at least that was what we were told, in our intergovernmental meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
not through the fire department, so
Yeah.
it is hearsay, but, yeah, so which is pretty common, because at this stage of the game, it's running in on the end of the year, and they need stability for the last couple of months, so they can get their spend plan in place.
All right. Agenda item 13, other items as may be lawfully brought before the board, discussion only.
nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:36 p.m. All those in favor, or actually,
Do you want me to second it?
you want to?
I'll second.
Okay.
Well, I like hanging around with you guys.
You already seconded it. It's on the record. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?